Hey everybody, how are you doing today? I'm just going to get everything set up here. If somebody could post a hashtag live and say hello, let me know that you're here. It's a rainy Tuesday morning in Northeast Georgia. Hope everybody had a good Labor Day. If you guys are coming in live, just hit hashtag live. And if you're coming in on a replay, please type in hashtag replay and tell me where you're from. There's a lot of new people in here, and I just love to know where everybody's from. I hope you guys are doing well today. Today, we're going to be talking about boundaries and the number one reason that we cannot stick to them. So, I looked up the definition for a boundary and I wanted to share that with you. It is a line that marks the limit of an area. That's what a boundary is. And personal boundaries are limits and rules that we set within ourselves. So it tells us two things. Hey, Sherry, how are you? I'm going to talk to you later on today. It says us two things. Number one, we're in control of the personal boundaries because we set them, and then also we enforce them. Jenny, hey, thank you guys so much for being here live from Melbourne, Florida. So we enforce them and we create them. And I just want to tell you guys, if you're new here, head up to the announcements and you can like scroll, I think, to the right, and it's all of my lives for the past few weeks. And you can go back and get caught up. But right now, we're just going to dive right into boundaries and the number one reason why we can't stick to them. And the most important reason is that we don't know how to use this beautiful tool that is known as our brain. And it's the powerhouse of our whole body. And most of us, we're just going through life living through our free will and our conscious mind. What we don't realize is that there's a whole subconscious mind that's back there running 96% of the show, and the part that we know of is just the 4% right up here in the frontal lobe. And I don't know about you guys, but I would rather be living my life, hey Pat, from 96% of my wheelhouse than just 4%, because the 4% is just simply never going to win out over the 96%. So, boundaries is another way that self sabotage shows up. And what I want to help you guys do by coming in live and giving you these easily to digest 30-minute videos every Tuesday at 10 is like to stop these repeated patterns and these repeated patterns of behaviors that are making us do the very thing that we hate the most about ourselves. And remember, we talked a few times ago about self-sabotage, and that the reason that we do it is because it is for us. We're trying to help keep ourselves safe. We're trying to prevent damage, but things get mucked up because what we're running our life from is from this faulty wiring in the 96% of the show. Okay, so again, I know most of you guys here are hungry for real healing and you're looking for answers, and you're fed up probably with the medical system or the psychological system and books. I call books shelf help. They're not even self help because you get them and you just put them on the shelf. And you can read a book. Sometimes you'll read a book and you only read like the first 10 pages or the first couple of chapters. And even if you get it all the way to the end, without someone sitting there holding your hand, telling you from an outsider looking in how it pertains to your life, it's darn near impossible to figure out how the principles and the concepts illustrated in those books apply to your life. Not only is it impossible to know how it works, how they apply to your life, but then walking it out day by day, you're just shooting yourself in your foot. So I want you to know, I don't want any of you guys to give up. All you have to do is learn your brain, and that's what I'm here to teach you guys. So as far as boundaries go, we teach people how to treat us, and people take your lead. And if most of us that are in this space here, we've undergone some trauma in our lives, and that's my personal opinion, that everybody's gone through trauma. I don't think anyone, even people that live in Mayberry, they've gone through trauma. And what it does is it it ends up, there's all kinds of parental programming and societal programming that is not how you really want to live your life, but it's just there because you're a product of your environment and of your upbringing, and you don't have any control over it. So when you have trauma, the at the best, you have deep judgment of yourself, and you're always judging yourself like, why did I do that? Gosh, I don't know why I did that. But at its worst, you just get self hatred, and you said, I'm so stupid. Why do I do that again? give me a, praise hands if you've done something that you do not want to do and you just can't stop doing it. I will never forget when I was about 35 years old. I was doing something that was very destructive and I could not stop doing it. I was praying to God. I was in 2 Bible studies, a Sunday school class, secular counseling, and, of course, 18 friends and family. And I could not stop doing it. And finally, at age 51, I learned how to do it. And in those 16 years, there's just been so much irreparable damage done that I would just it would be my joy and my honor and my life's mission to prevent anyone else from doing what I did. So your inner dialogue, your internal dialogue is not very pretty when you're running the show from a traumatized subconscious mind, and in fact, it's probably pretty horrible. And these belief systems that we have on our inside, we magnify them on our outside. And what we have to do is change our relationship with ourselves, and that's what no one teaches you how to do. And so for me, I had decided from a very early age that I was not worthy of love and protection. And so I wrecked my own life for decades with my own belief systems. And I just want y'all to know there's a continuum of people. Some people are still too mired in their, we'll do it right here. Some people are still over here on the left-hand side, too mired in their own pain and self-pity, and they're blaming everybody else. And that's okay. If that's where you are, that's okay. Just keep coming back. And then as you go through the continuum here, and you finally are ready for some help, and you're finally ready to stop looking at, be able to start looking at things a little bit more objectively, and you can see, golly, there are some patterns I would really like to fix, because it's not his problem and her problem and the city that I live in's problem and my job's problem. It's my problem, but I don't know how to do it. Then just know I'm right here to catch you when you fall, and I won't let you fall. So later on in the next 30 minutes, I'll be dropping a link below on how to book a call just to see if you're ready to get help. But there's a continuum of people, and for people that are still really mired in the pain, just keep coming back here, and we're going to just start unpeeling and pulling off some layers so that you can kind of get some answers, okay? And again, why can't we keep boundaries? Well, because they mimic boundaries that we have or don't have with ourselves. So an influence is a person, place, or a thing coupled with an emotion, good or bad, that has had an influence in your life. And that is what makes up our subconscious mind, all these different influences. And what we think happens is that we take on information with our eyes. It goes straight from our eyes into our subconscious mind to think about and process. But that's actually not what happens. What happens in the way that God made our brain work is that we take things in with our eyes. It bypasses all this thinking brain to make sense of it, and it goes straight to the reticular activating system, which is part of the subconscious mind. And that's when, unless it matches up with your specific and unique and God-given environmental programming, social programming, parental programming, and religious programming, then in all the trauma that you've experienced, you don't even physically see that it's happening unless it matches that specific filter for your life. And so if it doesn't match that, then hey, Michelle, I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for setting a boundary with me and keeping me safe. You're welcome. We love you, Michelle. And so if it doesn't match that boundary, then what our subconscious will do is delete and generalize and distort all the information coming in to match up with your filtering system. And so you are literally creating your past over and over and over again. And if you think that you're living in a figment of your imagination, well, you're right. Because this, it's like Monopoly funny money, where it's not real life. This is just like an altered sense of reality, like I can't even think of a way to put it except for an altered sense of reality. You are seeing everything else through that filter, and so you're recreating your childhood trauma over and over again, an exact copy of it. So you are guaranteed to be doing that same pattern of behavior, and it's only you that created those patterns and your past. And from that space of living by your subconscious faulty wiring, you have no choice. You have no choice from what's in there. It happened decades and decades and decades ago. And for me, it happened generations and generations and generations ago. And there's nothing you can do about it. And it's not your fault. But what we try to do is live our life with this willpower here. And that's just 4% of in our mind, which is our conscious mind. And there you can't win out. Your options are distorted. And if you really want to create long lasting happiness and health and peace and abundance, you have to deal with what's in your subconscious mind. So number one, we're either not deciding because everything's on autopilot and how we've learned to treat ourselves over the years. Or number two, we try with the conscious mind to create new boundaries. And again, you're only doing that with 4%. And if your conscious mind is not in agreement with your subconscious mind, you're not in alignment. So it's like, here's my 4% conscious mind and here's my 96% subconscious mind. This little tiny thing is never going to win out over that. And it creates dis-ease, it creates not being in alignment. And what you need to do is rewire everything in your subconscious mind so that your inner dialogue and your conscious mind are on the same page. And you're wondering why you're feeling like a failure all the time. And then you start shaming yourselves. Well, all we have to do is do the work of rewiring that subconscious mind. Otherwise, hey, Allie, it's good to have you here. All my people are here. My favorite people are in the house. Anybody else coming on just now? And Melissa, oh my goodness, she's my mother. Not really, but she kind of is in this world. My sister from another mister. And if you don't want to do this work, then that's okay too. But if you will do the work of rewiring that subconscious mind, you're no longer battling that 96% with this little tiny fledgling 4%. And otherwise, if you don't do the work, then that trauma is going to keep showing up in repeated patterns of behavior over and over and over again, because it actually doesn't matter how much work you do on this 4%. It can't win out over the 96%. So I created variety. You know, one of my inner needs is to create variety in my life. And when I'm not doing it in a healthy way, what I'll do is create chaos in my life. And again, I taught all about this in the perfectionism video, and there's a really good, I said it's an hour long Tony Robbins video. I watched it, and it is an hour, but it's actually a 30-minute. It repeats at 30 minutes, and it repeats all over again. So just watch the first 30 minutes. And what happens is that you're meeting your core needs of wanting variety. And so what I was doing is unintentionally, I knew my subconscious mind knew I needed variety, but I was doing it by creating chaos. And so if you can harness that 96% of your subconscious mind, you will make quantum leaps in your life and in your happiness, your health, your relationships, everything. But living from that place of 96% without you rewiring it and making it like you want it to be, you're coming from a place of no choice. And you will keep shooting yourself in your foot and keep getting so frustrated with your life. And so another thing that's funny about the subconscious mind is that it'll tell you that it's not safe to make change. You know, it wants predictability. And so when you're trying to change it with this, and the big thing that's running the show is 96% saying, no, we got to stay safe, we can't change. It is like diametrically opposed to each other. So you have to create an environment in your subconscious mind that shows it's okay to get healing and it's okay to get healthy. And so when we clear the reticular activating system, which is what I do, I teach people to do in 6 weeks, you are free once and for all to finally live your whole life. All these things that were invisible to you before, they're suddenly visible to you again. And you see patterns of behavior that were there and they were just distorted the whole time. And it's, I have some of my clients in here. Hey, Natalie. And some of my clients in here, and they can just drop in like some of the amazing things that were right there with them that they never had seen before. One of them, I'm seeing my client here, Jenny. She's just about to finish up the program. And she was traveling across country to get away from a very damaging relationship with her husband. And she moved in. It's like her body could only see people that were also going to be traumatizing to move in with. And so she created this environment where she had another crappy roommate. And now she's gotten her reticular activating system cleared. We're in the last little tail end of clearing it. And now she's about to buy a condo on the beach by herself, so she can be the best mother she can be and the best person to just to herself. So it's just like watching babies be born. It's such a an amazing thing to watch someone's life becoming, creating at their fingertips for the very first time in their own life in their 50s. It's like you're getting reborn in your 50s. It's just so cool. So when we can change our past and heal it, we're also healing generational lineage that's brought down from our ancestors at a cellular level, because trauma is actually stored at a cellular level, and we can undo generational patterns, and people say, well, what's going to happen to my kids? Well, you're going to teach them the way to live a different life than how you've been living up to this point. And you can teach them the tools too that you have. And it takes a lot of bravery to get to these gifts, but we're here to hold your hand. I've created a transformational program here, and it'll pay you dividends for the rest of your life if you just give yourself 6 weeks to rewire your subconscious mind and then 6 weeks to integrate it. And the best investment, exactly what Jenny just said, the best investment is investing in yourself. And your greatest wisdom is in your subconscious mind. When you have these emotions and these realization, this awareness of your past, it's coming up for healing, and that's where your greatest wisdom is. And sometimes we've just spent so much time just like shutting it up and just acting like it doesn't exist. That little 7-year-old version of you, for me, it's a 14-year-old version of me, a 29-year-old version of me, and then a 33-year-old version of me, that I never listened to them. I just kind of like, full force trauma, just kind of, or brunt force, just went head first into destructive relationships and creating chaos. Well, now that everything's clear, I can go back to those versions of me, and that's where all the true wisdom is in my life, and what I want, what I want for myself. And so I'm creating a different life for me and my children now. And what I want to tell you is that traditional medical healing, okay, where all they do is just prescribe you, Wellbutrin and Effexor and Paxil, and let me get you some Xanax and Trazodone, Atarax. I mean, I'm a doctor. I practice medicine here in Northeast Georgia Medical Center, up in the Northeast Georgia, northeastern part of Georgia. And the list, in case, if you're really lucky and you're not on any medications yet at all, praise God. But if you start getting on medications, that list just grows and grows. And my typical patient averaged 9 to 14 medications. So all the medical system does is just cover up that anxious feeling, slow down the heart rate, get rid of that fight or flight reaction. But it doesn't go back to the root of it at all. And so all they're doing is just making you a zombie so that you're not a basket case. And then traditional psychiatric and psychology practices, they just bring up this awareness. Yeah, Michelle's one of my newest clients. I've only been taking, she's only been working with me for 2 weeks, Michelle? She's already off of her Paxil. She has such an emotional availability already, just by clearing 2 or 3 people in her past. And so psychiatric and psychological treatment modalities, what they do is they bring this awareness of your problem. You get to talk about it and hash it out and beat it like a dead horse, but they never help you with the root cause of it or the fallout of what it's done in your life. You're just now aware of just how horrible everything has been in your life. So what good does that do you? It just makes you almost more miserable by going to counseling. So again, your lack of boundaries, the trauma is showing up that way. It's making you unable to stick to your boundaries. And what you need to do is, instead of setting your boundaries from your conscious mind, you need to set them from your subconscious mind. And again, the only way to gain all the powerhouse of knowledge there is to get rid of all that gunk in the filter, which is what I do in my program. All right, Jenny is saying, I heard myself, but no one else. But no one else did. So I cried all the time. Now I hear myself all the time. It doesn't matter who doesn't hear me anymore. And she's getting off of Effexor. That's wonderful. So again, in my program, it's not easy. You can ask my clients, but it's a lot of work, but it is worth it. You're worth every penny of it. And people pay 5 figures to work with me. And I always say the 5 figures is the least way that you pay to work with me and to get yourself healed. The worst way that we are paying is through ruined relationships and missed opportunity and missed income and just this overwhelming sense of, I don't know why I keep doing this, but I keep doing something to hurt myself over and over again. And so if you want full control and access to the entirety of your mind, book a call with me. Again, I'll put that list down there. I mean, that link down there below in just a few minutes. But we can't pay to make this damage go away. You can't pay to make the hurt go away. And we can't do the healing for you. What I teach in my program is tools so you can actually heal yourself in the comfort of your own home, and you'll take those tools with you for the rest of your life, and your healing will last a lifetime. So you can continue to keep going in and healing yourself. And when you stop the trauma cycle in your life, you stop it in your kids' lives too. And I just think about that ripple effect of what if, my mom had stopped her trauma cycle and she didn't raise me in the way she did, and could have prevented some of that damage, which could have prevented the damage I've done to the people that I love the most. I mean, it's just the generational benefits and dividends. It's just tremendous if you really think about it. And again, if the 96% of your mind is running your life, and that's on autopilot with all your belief systems, okay, you got to know that 97% of your belief systems were formed by the time you were 7 years old. We're just little sponges when we're born. And think about what you were doing from age birth to 7, and that's the milieu that your subconscious is formed in. Another thing the subconscious does is it takes the fastest and easiest path to do anything. So if you want to have your deepest, most quick healing, excuse me, we have to go back and heal that part of you that was before age 7, and it gives you a healthy relationship with yourself once and for all. And just know that the relationships on the outside are a result of the relationship that you have with yourself. If you want to know why people aren't being nice to you, or think about what you're projecting out of what you're saying inside. If you're always saying I'm ugly, or I'm stupid, or I'm fat, or I can't make good decisions, or I'm never going to amount to anything, there's no reason for me to even worry about that. Well, that's exactly what you get, what you focus on. Okay, guys? I mean, that's just the bottom line. And you can't will yourself to fix that focus. I mean, you can, but you'll wear out in 1 day to 1 week. So what you do is you get your 96% of your mind fixing your mindset, and then you're good to go for the rest of your life, because it's taking that path of least resistance. It's just running on autopilot, and your life is different than it ever was before. So again, if you are sick and tired of being unable to set boundaries or keep boundaries, just talk to me. I've opened my calendar up this week. And Brenda said, you have what you say. I'm not sure what she means by that. But we can heal the parts of ourselves that create those patterns of behavior. And then we can, after we do that, let go of all the shame and let go of all the guilt, because all you are ever doing is just meeting your own core needs, and it's not your fault. And the last thing I want to leave y'all with today, I'm going to be short today, is that everything in your life, every single thing you've gone through in your life has brought you right here, right now for healing. And if you don't teach yourself how to gain that wisdom, you went through all that pain in your life for absolutely nothing. And when you heal, you create emotional availability, and then everything becomes safe. You teach yourself it's safe. You're in your subconscious mind. It's safe to be healed. It's safe to be healed. And in my program, we meet once a week, and you meet with yourself every other day. And you keep telling yourself how safe it is. And then when your body knows that it's safe to heal your brain, like I said, the healing starts happening at lightning speed. We turn decades into days here, guys. You can get your life completely back on track. I don't even want to say within 12 weeks, as that's the length of my program. Some people have changed their life within 2 days. You just have no idea what kind of power is at your fingertips, but it's just all mucked up by the way that we're wired. And I want you to know too that we don't lack knowledge to heal ourselves, okay? We have so much knowledge at our fingertips in today's age and time. All these books, all these podcasts, YouTube channels, lectures, TV channels, everything. People have all the tools in the world, but they're still not healing. And it's because they don't know how to use this tool called your brain. And you can just sit there and keep exposing yourself to all this, conscious mind healing, and all you're doing is working on the 4%. and it's never going to get you what you want. And so I just want you to know that you have all the tools and all the tricks. And when you're ready to get healing, now's the time. We just got to roll up our sleeves and do some work together. And I'll be here to hold your hand every step of the way. And we've created a community where the healing just happens in a circle of trust. And when you see other patterns of people's healing that are exactly the same as yours, and you realize that you're not alone, and you see how they're getting better so much faster, and the kinds of leaps and bounds that they're making in their life, it's so inspiring, and you know that it's right there for you, into the majestic. That's right, Jenny. So come into this group, guys. Reclaim your health and life. I go live every Tuesday at 10 a.m. And I just want you to give yourself some grace. I want you to always have hope. And I just want you to release the shame and the guilt, because none of that shame and that guilt matters. All you were doing was trying to take care of yourself. And because you're here listening to me right now, it means you're still trying to take care of yourself. And I love you for that. And it will be my honor and my pleasure to usher you into the best part of your life. I know what you're going through. My heart goes out to each and every one of you. I love you guys. And if you have any questions, pop them below, and I will go in and put the link in case anyone wants to book a call with me and see if you are actually ready to do the work. I would love to do the work. Someone from my team or I can talk you through every single bit of it. I've created a whole team here for holistic healing. And again, it will be my pleasure, my honor. It's the best work I've ever done in my life. And I love you guys, and I hope y'all have a good rest of the day, and take care. Talk to y'all next Tuesday at 10.